So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this, and welcome to Down the Lane podcast. Today I'm joined by Miles Reese and by Nigel, a Maidstone fan, who will talk about our upcoming game on Tuesday night with them. So, firstly, yesterday, obviously, we didn't have a game, Miles. You went up to Wickham.
Yes, we did.
Good, good journey.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was pretty chill. I mean, N25 was a bit delayed as always, but yeah, it was a nice day out with the boys. Obviously, it was quite close to Cheshire, ironically. We only went up there because Bob's family has basically got like a box essentially. So it's a bit of a posh day out in Wickham. So yeah, it was a good game. They won 4-0. So yeah, can't complain. It was a good little ground hopping visit. So good bit of fun.
Yeah, and the first time you've been to Wickham?
Yes, yeah. I've done a
Yeah,
massive
yes.
3 out of 92 now, so.
Right, okay. And Nigel, you never went to the game yesterday. You had a day off, but you say you've seen the highlights from yesterday.
Yeah, it's it's just the way we're playing at the moment. We don't seem to be creating a lot. I mean, Ipswich aside, we beat Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, midweek, beat them 3-0 quite convincingly. But it almost seems at the moment we need to sort of score 2 goals to win a game, or be comfortable in a game, and we're just not getting that second goal. And teams come out, especially at home, when there's more emphasis. Our style of play is kind of like an away sort of style of play to kind of catch teams on the break. So when we've got to sort of go and create something, it's difficult to sort of get any momentum going if you're not scoring that second goal. And it proved yesterday. Slough got the equalising goal and then quickly got the second goal. And it is a bit unusual for us because we are renowned to being quite a defensively minded team, but. I mean, the same thing happened at Tunbridge the previous week. We went 1-0 up early doors first half, and they got an equaliser and dominated the second half, and we're really quite unlucky to not come away with the win there at Tunbridge. So yeah, it's just we're just in that sort of state of flux at the moment. I don't think we know whether we're sort of like a genuine playoff contenders or whether we're just like a mid-table team. It just seems to be sort of like you never get two sort of performances the same.
Yeah, and we know from our visit to Slough that they're a team that they don't give up, they carry on going. And obviously they did that yesterday and got a couple against you.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
just want to say before. Oh, sorry. Go on.
no, I was going to say, we know we're in for a tough game because we generally do struggle against Slough anyway. We beat them 4-1, I think it was, down there early part of the season. But they come off the 5-0 win against Chelmsford last week, so we knew it was going to be a difficult game. And Scotty Davis always gets them up for a game, especially coming to Maidstone. We've been rivals for a few years now, and I guess they just wanted it more in the end.
Yeah. So before we go on and talk about our upcoming game on Tuesday, this is going to be out on Sunday lunchtime, so I just want to say to you guys, the ladies are playing a game today at 4:00. I know it clashes with Man City, Liverpool, but who wants to watch either of them two teams, to be fair? So if you're about Eastbourne, get yourself down there. Quarter-final of a cup. I'm sure the ladies could do with your support. I'm going to be there, hopefully doing a little bit of filming, a little chat with Chris Day and maybe a couple of the players. So look out for that one. That'll possibly be up tonight. If not, it'll be up tomorrow. And of course, if you want to get there a little bit earlier, the paddle club opens tomorrow. And if you fancy knocking a ball about the paddle courts, that is open until 3:00, just for half-hour sessions. And I'm sure there'll be spaces there, and you can jump on a court and have a little go of it. And again, hopefully, I will be there early enough to film a little bit of that as well, and just on what's going on at the club. So, Nigel, obviously we move on to Tuesday night. You're coming to us.
Mm-hmm.
We're a team that are desperate for points at the moment, but struggling at home. How do you as fans see the game on Tuesday night? How do you as fans approach the game? What do you?
Well, Yeah, I mean, we said it in our podcast that's going to come out in the next few days. Although you're down there struggling this year, and you've been down there, I think we said since match day 3. I think you was down in the bottom 4. So, but we know generally we've had, similar to what I've just said about Slough. Over the years we've had real good battles with Eastbourne, and it's sort of culminating in that playoff semi-final last year. It's a game that obviously you as a higher ranked team, and a lot of the fan base just kind of expected you to sort of carry on that momentum that you built up from last year, and you've got a lot of good players down there. Alexander, he's a George Alexander. He was prolific last year, wasn't he? I know he's not been in the team as regularly, and he struggled for goals this year, but the threats are still there, and Maidstone fans are very much aware of what the threat that Eastbourne possess. Looking from the outside, we can't really see where your struggles are coming from, really. I know you had a lot of a turnover at the beginning of the season. You had the new manager in Matt Gray, didn't you? But yeah, you look at that team sheet, and there's still names on there that you think, and you'll take Trusty down. I mean, he was with us last year, and you've just brought in Adam May, haven't you? Another really sort of top quality player, and it just for some reason it's just not gelled for you this year. But as a fan base, you look at that and you think, well, they're gonna kick on eventually. It's gonna have to come good eventually, isn't it? So I think there's a little bit of trepidation as well, sort of coming into the game.
Well, I suppose we as fans certainly hope that it's going to kick on. Miles, what's your thoughts on Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Maidstone are a team where we tend to struggle against. I can only remember us beating you once, and that was last season in the league game. I think it was about the same time of year, wasn't it? Like Tuesday night in February or March time. Yeah, Alexander scored, didn't he? But generally, we always struggle. We never really get much out of the Gallagher when we go up there. And obviously, painfully, you beat us in the semi-final last year too. So yeah, going to be a tough game. And I think you sort of summed it up really, Nigel, of your assessment. Obviously, you don't know as much as we do about our club, of course, but we've got some good individual players, but it's how they gel with the team now. I think we've got a lot of players now that are experienced enough for level, are good enough for the level, but can we get them sort of clicking in the right system? And we've been saying a lot in the podcast about putting square pegs in round holes. I mean, George's been playing at number 10 for the last 15 games or so now, which obviously isn't his best position. So yeah, hopefully Tommy can find the formula in the last couple of months of the season, otherwise we're massively in trouble. But in terms of the game itself, I'd like to be optimistic because I'm generally optimistic in life, but it's going to be a very, very tough test. It worried me when you said that you play like a very good away side and you hit people in the counter attack, because I feel like we're going to be vulnerable in the counter attack if we have a lot of the ball. If you can get the ball into those sort of wide channels in between our wing backs and the wide centre backs, you're going to get a lot of joy. I'm not sure how good your wingers are. I know Papadopoulos, never say his name right. Was he a winger or attacking midfielder? I know he's moved on quite recently.
Really, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so your wingers probably be the ones to us to look out for in the game if we're going to shut you out. But we're shipping goals currently. We haven't kept a clean sheet for a long, long time. I can't remember the last time we kept a clean sheet. So yeah, I think if you can score a couple and keep us out, you'll be absolutely fine.
And obviously, we signed Matt Burgess this week. Miles, I know you like to do research on the players, so tell us what you've learnt about him.
Yeah, so Matt's come on I think his initial 28-day loan from Worthing. He's been out of favour of Worthing, but obviously they have been doing generally pretty well this season. Obviously had a bit of a dip off recently, Worthing's form. But he struggled to get in that midfield because it's pretty stacked. It's hard to displace the likes of Teddy Jenks and Jack Spong. So yeah, I think he looks like a hungry addition to the team. He wants to prove himself, having played, I think he played all season, pretty much every game for Bognor in the Isham Premier Division last season. So coming to us, he can have a point to prove, having not been able to get into the Worthing side. It looks like he's going to be sort of energetic, box-to-box number 8. It'll be interesting to see how he sort of fits into the system, because I think we've now got enough centre mids, if we can keep him long term, of course, or to the end of the season. What with having May, Eastman, Grout if he decides to play him there. Corbett and now Burgess. So I think we've got a good sort of mix there between youth experience, bit of box to box, bit of defensive nature. So yeah, it looks like a strong addition. We'll obviously have to see how he gets on. I assume he'll be involved at some capacity tomorrow or Tuesday even. So yeah, decent little addition to the team, I think, is Matt.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've done a little bit of looking up of him, and I know Worthing said that he's short of match fitness at the moment. So hopefully
Oh, okay.
he's been training with us for a little while, and we can just pick that fitness up, and he can fire in on the 28 days. So Nigel Maidstone, you're currently 8th. There's a little gap there from 7th. A 5-point gap. Obviously, yesterday hurt you because that would have put you just 2 points behind that gap if you could have got that win yesterday. How do you rate your season so far, and what's your expectations, I suppose, for the rest of the season?
It's a difficult one, really, because obviously, again, we're very much in a similar situation to yourselves. I mean, last year got to the playoff final. I know we eventually lost that game against Boreham Wood, but you've seen that Boreham Wood have gone on this year and how they've sort of attacked that National League and right up there at the top, contending for promotion. But we did lose a lot of our big players last year. So we lost the likes of Aaron Blair and Charlie Seaman went to Ebbsfleet. Ben Brooks went to York. Temi Aweka, the centre back as well, he joined Aaron Blair down at Eastleigh. So, there was a big sort of like core of our squad. And, it's not unusual for us because, we generally do that because we only give players a year's contract. So I know the likes of those players I've just mentioned, if we had have got promoted, they would have been offered a new contract in the National League. But because we didn't, obviously they were free agents, so they moved on, which is rightly so, because, you don't want to hold players back, do you? But we've done it before, so it's not a new thing for us having get a new team in. And your podcast, when you interviewed Simon, he sort of alluded to Maidstone that we sort of transition our team every year, and it was something that you was having to do this year. But I think that the difference with us is we do that year on year. So George has obviously got his contacts that he wants to get in, and he can call on those. And I mean, obviously the expectation was to be out there challenging, but. And I say, it's just been one of those seasons where you're just always just on the edge of it, sort of thing. It's not, we never really kick on and put a run of games together. We had a really dodgy September, got dumped out of the FA Cup in the first qualifying round by Folkestone, which were in the league below, and managed by one of our ex-manager, Jay Saunders. So that hurt a little bit. I mean, I don't think we scored a goal in September. We didn't win a game. We didn't score a goal, and then. The following month, October, was completely different. We won all our games, kept all clean sheets, and we got up the table again. But again, it's just that consistency. We don't seem to win one, lose one, and the other thing about it is as well, because of that, you don't sort of get that buy-in to players. I mean, we've just recently got Mo Fowl back, which he's been with us before on loan, so that kind of gave the supporters a bit of a lift. But because he's somebody that we know and you can sort of pin your hopes on, but. He hasn't been playing a lot this season. He was over in Ireland and only sort of making cameo appearances, and he went to I think he went over to Asia, Indonesia, or somewhere like that at the beginning of the season, and that all sort of fell through before he went to Ireland. So he's not fit. So he's come back. I think he played 4 or 5 games now, and he hasn't scored a goal. So hopefully he can get a goal soon. But again, it's just sort of like it just seems to sort of like the expectation's there, but it just can't seem to kick on. And like you say, we have them good performances like we did last week against Ebbsfleet. And you think, here we go, we can really go on there. And then you go and get a fortunate draw, because as I say, Tunbridge deserved to win that game, and then we go and lose at home to Slough last year. So, and the crowd are dipping now as well. So for the first time this season, they went under 2,000 this season. So. Yeah, it's just a difficult one, really, and I know the owners as well. They're looking to get investment, either looking to sell their shares in the club or getting investment into it. So again, they're not sort of investing in that future. So again, we've got players in there on a year's contract. So it's a hope that kills you, as I say, isn't it? You don't know nobody sort of knows where they're going. There's no sort of clear path forward. So Yeah, it's just a sort of like a half glass full, half glass empty sort of feeling down the ground at the moment.
Yeah, I understand that, and I think we've at the club, Eastbourne, we've very much been similar to that this season. We've had a lot of fans that have literally been, my glass is half empty, but there has been a number of us that have tried to look on the positives. We've tried to see some positives in what hasn't been a great season. I mean, let's be fair. When you look at what happened for us last year, this season for some has been really, really harsh, and so yeah, we're I suppose on a similar spectrum, but obviously we've got the massive threat of relegation staring us right in the face, and we need to, if we're going to do anything about it, we need to start. I mean, we needed to start at the beginning of the year, and we haven't. So we really need to be looking now, because I think another 2 or 3 games, and we've got an awful, awful February. I mean, I don't know what your February's like, Nigel,
Just
but
had a
we've
quick
got
look at Maidstone's. Yeah, doesn't look
yeah,
too bad. Doesn't look too bad. They got a few winnable games, I think. Obviously,
Yeah,
unfortunately, us. Obviously away on Tuesday, and you've got Chippenham as well, haven't you? So obviously
yeah,
the
Tuesday,
two bottom
Chippenham
sides
next
in the
week.
league, and then Enfield later in the month. So yeah, probably a good chance to, if you like you're saying, like haven't really had a run of games or can't string some results together. Probably now's a good time to do that.
The thing
We
is
saw
with us
last
though,
season, didn't we, with Boreham Woods? They were sort of, yeah, go on, Nigel.
I was going to say the thing is with us, we tend to perform better in the games against
Mm.
the teams in and around us. So, when we went away earlier in the season to Enfield and lost 2-1 again.
Oh, okay.
We took the lead there, and then they ended up coming back and nicking the win there. And then, I'm probably looking at it the other way and thinking of the games. We've got a home game against Dorking in the middle of the month, and then we've got Salisbury away at the end of the month as well. So again, the Dorking one, I'm thinking, we don't do too well against them, we'll probably perform better than them, because you're going to get a crowd in, and there's some kind of jeopardy on it. That's where I think we are at the moment. There's too many sort of like players that are sort of coasting sort of thing, and we're not going to get, we're not going to go down. We're not in threat of any relegation. But if you take that sort of like hope and that jeopardy in performances away, that's my worry this season. It's just going to sort of tail off, and because I know I'm not sort of bigging it up here, but
Mm.
the likes of Enfield and Chippenham, when Maidstone come, it is a big game for them, because we're notoriously a bigger name in this league. So
Yeah.
teams will sort of up their game to play against us, and it's about us sort of counterbalancing that. And sometimes I feel like we're not up to that sort of thing, and
Oh, we lost it.
we only sort of get ourselves up for our sort of perceived bigger games.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe there's some hope for us yet in that case, and if you're not so good against the teams at the bottom of the table. Yeah.
yeah. We hope that continues on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We definitely owe you one for the playoff.
The pain.
The pain of the playoff semi-final, and the bigger pain for me was that, I missed another date of having a little bit of banter with Nathan Ashmore, which obviously I think we both enjoyed throughout last season on 5 occasions actually, because
Yeah. Way
I
too
over
many
to Worthing,
occasions.
so yeah, we ended up playing them a lot, and that would have been our 6th game against them if we'd have met them in the final. But they've gone on, massively this year. I mean, the form that they've shown this year is huge, and so I suppose in a way you look at it and think, probably it was the best team to go up, because would any of us have done that? So there we go.
No, but
So Nigel,
the irony, just going back
we'll
to
obviously catch up on Tuesday. Oh, sorry.
sorry, I was going to say the irony of that with the Boreham Wood is that Matt Rush is scoring all the goals, who was with us last year. We had him on loan last year, and we had him the previous year as well. And Regan Booty's gone in there, and he's another former player of ours. So it kind of just sort of compounds that sort of like what could have been sort of thing if we'd have had those players. Where we could have been, and Ben Brooks and other players. I said he's now started to perform for York up in the National League. So Yeah, it's almost like it's like a bullseye type of prize, isn't it? For us, it's like this is what you could have had, sort of thing. So
Yeah. And I think any of us that sat on that podcast at the end of the season where there was, 6 teams going into them playoffs, I think, there's 5 of us that are obviously saying the what ifs,
yeah,
and obviously one that's saying we've done it, and fair play to them. So obviously we'll catch up on Tuesday night. You're down, I take it, on Tuesday, Nigel?
yeah.
Yeah, so me and Miles or one of us will catch up with you on Tuesday night, either pre-game or after the game, whatever. But we'll see you on Tuesday night. Thanks for watching, guys. A short one again. We'll be back on Wednesday this week where we'll be talking about obviously the result against Maidstone, and we will have a special guest for you on Wednesday night. So look out for that one. And like I say, I'm shooting down the club probably in about an hour and a half. Going to film a little bit of the paddle and film a bit of the ladies' cup quarter final that has been reverted to home, so it kicks off at 4 o'clock. So like I say, if you don't want to watch Liverpool and Man City on the box, then get yourself down the club, cheer on the ladies. I'm sure they will appreciate your support. Thanks for today, Miles. Short one,
No
but
problem.
we will see you on Tuesday. Nigel, we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully, all being well.
And obviously, we don't wish you the best of luck for Tuesday, but we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season after that.
Yeah, likewise, guys.
Yeah, beat
Thanks for
Chippenham,
watching,
please.
guys.
Yeah, do our best.